Welcome to the ultimate Tesla owner's guide for 2025 for the Model 3 and Model Y. I've owned 3 Tesla vehicles over the past 7 years. This is my brand new 2025 Model 3. If you're thinking about getting a Tesla or you've already gotten one and you want to learn more about it, well, this video is for you. I'm going to show you everything you need to know so you can get the most out of owning and driving a Tesla. So let's get right into this video, starting with the exterior. Now, the car comes with 2 key cards. They're the size of a credit card. They're like hotel room keys. And what you want to do is keep one in your wallet at all times and keep the other one safe in your house. So to use the key cards, all you have to do is hold it up to the B pillar to lock and unlock the car. And to use the key card to drive, you just set it in the wireless phone charging area and you can drive the car. Now, the key cards are actually the backup methods for driving and unlocking and locking the car. The primary method that you'll use is your phone. So as long as you have the Tesla app installed and you have Bluetooth enabled on your smartphone, your phone will act as the key and it's done automatically through Bluetooth. So when you walk up to the vehicle and you have your phone in your pocket, it'll automatically unlock the car for you. Same with walking away. Walk away from your car with your phone in your pocket and your car will automatically lock. Now, Tesla really loves to optimize their aerodynamics on their cars. So you'll notice that the door handles are flush with the car. And sometimes people can get a little confused by this when they're first starting out. It's meant to be a one-handed maneuver opening the car door. You simply press in with your thumb on the thick part and the handle pops out and you grab it with the rest of your fingers. Once you get used to that, it's very quick and easy. Like that. This right here is your charge port door and it is on the rear driver side. There are a few different ways to open it. You can do it from your mobile app, you can do it from the touchscreen, and you can also do it from the charge port door itself. Now, that's just the manual way of doing it. 99% of the time, to open the charge port door, all you have to do is press the button on the charging cable. And this will work with supercharger cables as well as the mobile connector that comes with the car. So the Model 3 and the Model Y come with automatic power trunks and it'll automatically raise up. You can also open this from your mobile app as well as the touchscreen. And to close it, there's a button right here that you press to close it. However, there's one thing to remember. If you ever want to adjust the height of the automatic trunk, if it's raising too high, for example, you can just pull it down to your preferred height. And once you have it set, you can hold this button down for a few seconds and you'll hear a chime. And that lets you know that that will set the height level to what you adjust it to. So the next time you open it, it will automatically open up and stop at that height level. Now with a Tesla, you have additional storage in the front. There's no engine and it's called the frunk. And there are a few ways to open this. You can do it from the touchscreen or from the app. You can't do it from the frunk itself. I'm gonna open it from my app here and it unlatches and you just raise it up. Unfortunately, Teslas do not have powered automatic frunks like some of the other high-end EVs do. Right now it's still manual, so to close it, you just push it down. And ideally you'd want to use 2 hands. That's what it says in the manual, right? Use 2 hands. I just use one. I've never really had an issue just using one hand. Gentle press down on the front until it latches. Now, one thing I love about Tesla's base wheels on either the Model 3 or Model Y comes with these aero caps, and they are there to provide better aerodynamics and better efficiency, better range. So it just pops right off of there and you have a nice looking rim underneath if you prefer the way it looks. You can also get these lug nut covers from Tesla. But when you're putting this aero cap on, just make sure the circular cutout right here matches up with the tire inflator cap right here. I also like to keep that on as an additional layer of protection for the wheel underneath. And the last things about the exterior that you want to know about are the cameras around the car. So you'll see these cameras right here. They're all around the car and it allows the car to see everything around it pretty much. Sometimes when these are dirty, that will affect your autopilot and full self-driving performance. So just keep those clean and you'll be good. Now, the most important part of your Tesla is something that you'll probably never see, hopefully, and that's the battery. Not only is that the most expensive part of your car, but it plays the biggest factor in determining your Tesla's resale value or your depreciation. That's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Recurrent, which is a free software tool that I've been using for years to track helpful stats about all of my Tesla vehicles. It's designed by real battery scientists to analyze an electric vehicle's range and battery to provide transparency and confidence to EV owners, buyers, and sellers. It's a simple one-time process to sign up and connect your vehicle, and then after that, you can access your own dashboard to see personalized insights on your vehicle's range and battery performance, along with several other useful data points. Now, you can see my new 2025 Model 3 and you can have multiple EVs under one dashboard. So here's the range score of my 3-year-old Model Y, which isn't too bad either. Now this battery score is important because when it's time to sell or trade in your EV, you can use the Recurrent info to show the current state of the range and battery to give the buyer peace of mind, which may also lead to a higher selling price. And if you're a first-time EV buyer, you can use Recurrent to check the range, battery, and tax credit eligibility on thousands of used EVs so you can feel reassured that you're making a good purchase. And best of all, it's free. So click the link below to sign up for Recurrent today and join me along with thousands of other EV owners. Now the Model 3 and Model Y interior is pretty minimal, and that's kind of what drew me to it, and that's what I like about it. So there aren't very many physical controls at your disposal. So on the right-hand side, you have quick access to your windshield wipers on the very top. So tap on that, it brings up your wipers menu, and you can use your left scroll wheel to adjust the speed of the wipers. There is a quick access button for the rear view camera. So if you tap on that, it quickly brings up your rear view camera on your screen. You also have voice command button, and your voice commands are pretty helpful when you're driving. So for example, if I press it and tell it to turn on the seat heater, turn seat heater on, and now the seat heater's on. The more you play around with that voice command feature, the more you'll find which voice commands are the most helpful for you. And then the left-hand side, you got your turn signals and access to turn your brights and flash your brights. Your left scroll wheel actually will control the media playback. So when you press in on the scroll wheel, the left scroll wheel, it's a play and pause button for your current media playback on your screen. You can go forward a track by pressing it to the right. You can go back by going to the left. And then you can scroll the scroll wheel up or down to control the volumes. And then your right scroll wheel is all about autopilot and full self-driving. And we'll talk about that in that section. Now, as of right now, no new Model 3 or Model Y comes with a right stalk. The new Model Ys come with the left, but not with the right. And if you do have one of the legacy Model Ys with the right stalk, that is your gear changers. So you'll use that for changing gears instead of doing it on the screen. And you'll also use that for autopilot or full self-driving. So enabling autopilot, you'll just do a 1-tap down, and to cancel it, it's 1-tap up. And really the only other buttons that you have are on the door. So the door open icon, if you press on that, it automatically pops your door out electronically. There is a manual release for the door. If you ever find yourself in an emergency situation, it's right here. You just pull up. Now you don't want to do that very often because you'll get a message on the screen saying it may damage your window trim. So only use that in emergency situations. Now the back doors do not have that same manual release latch. It's actually built into the storage area in the door. So underneath, if you look far enough, you can see this cutout, and in that cutout, you can pull that latch in an emergency situation to unlatch the doors. And then you also have your window buttons as well. So control all 4 windows on the car, and it has a half press up or down to go in small increments, or you can press it all the way up or all the way down to automatically go up or down for all of the windows. So just know that they have 2 different functionalities, the half press or the full press. There is an area to charge 2 smartphones wirelessly at the front there. Now going down to the console here, it has 2 different areas that you can open up, the cup holder area, and then you slide to open up the deep storage area. And you can get center console trays for these as well from Tesla, about $35. I highly recommend getting those. And these lids just click and slide to close. Now there is a 12-volt socket for powering devices in that front part of the center console area there. The console armrest closes magnetically. When you open that up, there is a USB-C port down in there that you can charge additional devices with, and there's more storage underneath there, which is nice. And of course, in the back, you have the rear screen that your back passengers can enjoy their own media and control their climate from there as well. And there are also 2 USB-C ports back there for charging and connecting devices. And it has its own Bluetooth, so your kids or your passengers in the back seat can connect Bluetooth devices to the rear screen, and it doesn't interrupt your media on the front main center display, which is really nice. Now, unfortunately, this car at its price range does not come with all-weather floor mats. You can get those directly through Tesla, or you can also get third-party options for usually a better price. I'll leave the links to all of my favorite accessories, including the floor liners, in the description below, so make sure you check that out. All the seats in the car are heated, including the back seats, but the front seats are heated and cooled. And on the bottom side of your seat, there are controls for moving the seat up and down and back and forth to adjust it accordingly to how you like it. And one of the most recent new additions to the refreshed Model 3 Model Y is the blind spot indicator light. It is located in the door speakers on either side, the front doors. And it's just a tiny light. So in a way, this is just kind of funny to me because most of the time I'm using my side view mirrors or my on-screen camera feeds to view my blind spot. I hardly ever look at this blind spot indicator light. And the back seats do fold down, so you can just pull this button right here, this latch, and it will unlatch the seats and allow them to fold down completely. And one thing to note about the back seat area, if it wasn't obvious enough, is that this middle back seat folds down, and it's an armrest with built-in cup holders. And last but not least, the trunk area. Of course, with the Model Y, you have a huge spacious trunk area with cargo space, and the seats automatically fold down with the new buttons in the back, and they fold back up with that button. But with both cars, the Model 3 and Model Y, they come with the underneath storage area, which gives it even more room. Now, this is one of the most important things about owning a Tesla, learning your touchscreen, because pretty much everything that you control in this car is going to be done with this center touchscreen display. So the screen is split into two different areas. First is your driving and your car visualizations and your quick controls here on this side of the display. And then you have your main navigation area right here. But you can also drag this area to make it full screen so you can see a big visualization of the car itself and the different controls. You can open the front, open the trunk, close it, lock, open and close the charge port door. The top, you'll see the battery percentage, and you can actually tap on that percentage to change it between estimated mileage remaining and percentage remaining. You can also tap on this battery icon to quickly bring up your charging menu, and you can tap on that to close it again. Right here on the screen, you have your lock button, and you can quickly unlock and lock the car from inside the car. You have your driver profile. So if you tap on that, it gives you a list of all the current driver profiles, and you can actually go to the driver profile settings from here and add a new driver if you want and change some of the settings in your driver profile. Driver profiles is one of my favorite features about owning a Tesla, especially if you have a spouse. So if you're sharing a car, the Tesla will automatically adjust the seat and the steering wheel. So it makes sharing a car super easy. And when you enter, it sets everything for you, and it goes back if somebody else enters. And it does that based on your phone. So you can tie your phone to your profile. And if you have your phone in your pocket, it knows that it's you, and it automatically adjusts your settings when you enter the car. And if you change any of these settings around in your driver profile, it'll pop up a screen asking you if you want to save, and you can always save and restore. If somebody changes your settings, you can go in there, tap on your profile, and click restore. Here is the MyQ Garage settings. So if you have a MyQ Garage opener and the subscription set up, you can go in here and set these settings here. And that's where you can open and close your garage from as well. You have your Sentry mode icon. So just a quick way to disable and enable Sentry mode, which is the cameras recording around the car. Here is the time. If you tap on that, it quickly brings up the calendar app. If you've given your Tesla app permissions to access your calendar on your phone, and it will actually show your calendar, and you can quickly drive and navigate to whatever's in your calendar, which is really nice. If you tap on the weather icon, it gives you a quick snippet of your weather at your current location. Now the bottom menu, first, if you go over to the right, this is your volume. If you're driving, you're most likely going to use the left scroll wheel button to adjust the volume on the playback, but that is there as well. And then you can quickly go to the audio settings from there. These are your icons that you have docked, so you can actually change these. So if you bring up the app menu here, it shows you all the different applications that you can access. And then if you want to dock any of these for quick access, you just hold down, sort of like on a phone, hold down, and you can drag and drop different apps into your dock right here, and it allows you to save up to 5 apps down here, and this shows you your recent apps that you have most recently opened. You have your dash cam, which that will show you and allow you to play back the dash cam clips that your car has saved. So your car should automatically come with a USB drive in the glove box, which will record footage at all times, even when you're driving. And then also as well, if you have Sentry mode enabled, it will record your vehicle as it sits somewhere, and if it detects motion around your vehicle, it'll automatically record and save to this dash cam, and you can view it from this dash cam app. So you can go in here and see all the saved recorded clips, and it shows you the date and location. And if you want to play back a clip, tap on that and it will automatically go to the clip here, and you will see the little red dot, and that will show you where the motion detection has taken place. It's just a really good security feature to have, that dash cam. You have your energy graph, which is really nice. It gives you just a more detailed look at the energy consumption if you're going on a long drive and a long trip and you want to save as much energy as possible. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can go to the web browser and browse the web. And of course, you won't be able to browse the web or access the internet unless you're connected to Wi-Fi or you have premium connectivity. And of course, you have some built-in music streaming apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn. And I'm a Spotify subscriber, so of course I have Spotify, but you can tap on this icon and change between different streaming apps. And this is the media player window right here. You can swipe that down to hide it, but most likely you're just going to leave that up. And you can swipe left to go between your cards. So when you swipe to the left from your media player, it shows you your information about your current drive. So they drive energy consumption since you last charged and other trips that you have saved. And if you tap on that, it brings up the trip menu. And you go one more time to the left, you can see your tire pressure. And here is your climate control. Down here, if you tap it once, it turns it on. Tap it again, it actually brings up the climate control window. You can turn on your defogger, your defroster, your steering wheel heater. You can change the direction of the fans. You can use the touchscreen to change the direction of the airflow for both the passenger and the driver. And you can actually turn passenger airflow off if nobody is sitting in the passenger side, which is nice. You have your rear climate control settings as well. So you can go in here and turn the rear climate control off and on and control it from here. Here with the climate control, you can actually hold this down right here to turn it off, or you can turn it off from up here. Multiple ways to turn that off. Now let's go into the car settings right here. This car icon right here in the bottom left, that will quickly bring up your controls for the car. And the main default screen, when you pull this up, is the controls menu. Here is where you can, unfold mirrors and set the wiper settings and turn the wipers on or off and enter car wash mode and adjust your mirrors and your steering wheel. But mostly, I use this screen just for opening the glove box. So the controls is pretty self-explanatory. Dynamics, that's your different driving settings, not much in this screen. You can change your acceleration from chill to standard, your steering wheel weight. Charging menu, we'll go over more of this in the charging section of the video, but here just know that you can set your charge limit at your current location. You can also adjust the amperage as well, and you can schedule the charging. Autopilot settings, this is where you can go in here and change some of the autopilot settings or full self-driving settings. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but basically just know that anything that deals with autopilot is in this menu right here. Locks, this is where you can see your different phone keys that have been set up, and you can tie them to each profile. So right now my phone is tied to my profile, and you can also see the key cards as well that have been linked to this car. You can set your child lock settings. You got hands-free trunk, which is really cool. You can turn that on, and if you stand behind the car long enough with your phone key in your pocket, the trunk will automatically open. Your lights, this is probably something you won't go into too much. This is where you can actually change the color of your ambient lighting. And then you have your seats. This is a very simple page. There's really nothing to it except turning the seat heaters on or off, or the seat ventilation on or off as well from here. And then you can actually adjust the location of your passenger seat from these buttons right here. The display, pretty simple. You can change it from the appearance, the brightness, screen clean mode. This is actually really cool though. If you want to have a quick function tied to a long press of your left scroll wheel, you can set it right here. So right now I have it set to glove box. So if I hold down my left scroll wheel on my steering wheel, it's going to open the glove box, and you can set that to any of these settings right here. Next is the schedule option. So this is where you can schedule your charging and precondition as well. So this is really nice to have if you want your car to automatically warm up the cabin by a certain time during the weekdays, for example, even when it's cold. Safety, this is where you can turn Sentry mode on or off. So definitely have that on if you want to keep your Tesla secure, and you can actually exclude some of your favorites, which is really nice if you don't want it to record at home. And I always like to have this on honk enabled. So that means when you're driving and you honk your horn, it will actually save that clip. And here you can delete your dash cam clips. And these are also some of the settings that I have set, just safety features, allow mobile access. You can actually set your PIN to drive. So if you want more security, you can have a PIN be required when anytime somebody drives the car. You turn on valet mode. If you're giving the car to a valet, it puts a lot of lockdowns on the car and limits it. parental controls, speed limit mode. Cabin overheat protection is really nice if you are in a very hot climate and you want it to, if you want the car to automatically turn on the AC to prevent the cabin from getting too hot in the summertime, you can turn that on. And then these are all security settings. Most likely you'll want to have all these on. Here is where you can apply the park brake if you're parking on an incline and you want to be extra careful and safe. And here's where you power off the vehicle. You hardly will ever have to do that. You don't really turn the car off. It just really kind of just goes to sleep. And my years of owning a Tesla never had to power it off. Service just gives you some nice information about your service, your PSI, your recommended pressure, your tire service mileage. You can actually go to the owner's manual, this is really helpful. It brings up the entire manual and just a long list of things that you can do in the service menu, which is really helpful. The software section just shows you information about the hardware and software of your vehicle, including, if you have full self-driving or premium connectivity and when it expires, your current version of the software, your current FSD software. And here you can set your update preference to advanced if you want your software updates as soon as they're available. So by putting that on advanced, hopefully you get to the first of the line. And if you want to stay on the cutting edge of Tesla's software updates that come for free, Tesla always releases these software updates periodically for free to these cars, and the cars will automatically download it and install it. Navigation, these are just pretty self-explanatory navigation settings that you can change. Your trip section, we've already went over that. That shows your trips, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. That's where you can connect your Bluetooth devices and manage them. And then upgrades is finally where you can upgrade and sign up to your subscriptions or whatever software upgrades are available to you. It should show you up on this screen right here. Now, if you ever have issues with your touchscreen, if it freezes up or you simply just need to reboot it, to reboot your touchscreen, you just press in on both scroll wheels at the same time and hold it down for a few seconds. And now the screen will turn black and reboot. Now let's quickly talk about the navigation, and it will lead us into the charging section because they're intertwined. The navigation is pretty simple. It's based on Google Maps. So when you enter a destination in the navigation area, it'll give you a drop-down list and you can tap on the correct one and it will load the navigation route. And you can tap on the very top of the route, the very first part, and it will go switch between the route overview and the turn-by-turn directions. And it will also show you your estimated battery percentage when you arrive at your destination. And you can actually look at the weather of your destination as well, which is pretty helpful. So you can actually go in here into the ellipses and tap on that, and it gives you more settings that you can set. And you can set the navigation volume. You can set it to automatically use HOV lanes. Automatic navigation will automatically route you to home, work, or the next calendar event. The trip planner should be on by default, and that's what we just talked about. It adds supercharger stops if necessary. And then you have some avoid tolls and avoid ferries options as well. So pretty self-explanatory as far as the navigation goes. This icon right up here will quickly change between north, up, or the direction that you're facing. If you tap on this, this is a quick menu for your navigation screen. So the globe icon, you can tap on that to enable or disable the satellite view. The traffic light icon here will show you traffic signs and traffic lights if you have that enabled. And it'll also show you real-time traffic visualizations. This icon right here will actually show you nearby places to visit, so businesses and things of that nature. The lightning icon will bring up a superchargers and show you the nearest Tesla supercharger locations and how far away they are and how many available stalls there are at each location. And it'll show you the speeds, the current prices, and then you can actually tap on the supercharger to navigate to that supercharger. And then also there is a weather icon, a little cloud icon that shows you a radar, so you can see if you are going somewhere and you need to plan for maybe a thunderstorm or heavy winds. You can actually play a radar, which is really nice. If you're going somewhere further than what your battery can currently take you to, it'll build in automatically Tesla supercharger stops. And it shows you the estimated battery percentage of when you will arrive at that supercharger location, along with the estimated time to charge at that location. And for the most part, this is really accurate. If you look at the set arrival energy, you can actually tap on that. If you want to arrive somewhere with more energy, I can change that and save it and it will actually build in a supercharger stop for me. So the Tesla superchargers will always show up as these red lightning icons on the map, and you can tap on those to get more information about the supercharger location. Some tips that you can do with the navigation: the 3 lightning bolts icons right here, that will show you all superchargers. That means that's showing you the fastest available charging, but you can actually enable these slower chargers by tapping on the 1 or 2 lightning bolts, and it will give you more options, but these are going to be slower in case you're ever in a pinch and you need somewhere that's super close. And one last tip about the navigation: you can swipe to the right on your recent destinations that you travel to delete them. It's also helpful to set your work and home locations, and when you do that, you can quickly swipe down to automatically route to work or home. And if you already have a destination entered and you want to add an additional stop, you go in here and just add a stop to the trip. And if you need to rearrange the stops on your trip, you go in here and edit trip, and you can switch around the locations in the correct order and even add additional stops if you want to. One of the most common questions I get asked is about charging the car, and that's what this section is all about, because this is going to be probably the biggest difference if you're coming from a gas car. 95% of your charging is most likely going to be done at home, at your residence, when you're sleeping overnight, and you're going to wake up to a full charge every morning. Charging the car is very simple once you learn the basics. So the first thing that you need to know when you're ordering your Tesla, you have the option of getting 2 different chargers. One is the wall connector, which is currently $420, and that is going to provide you the highest speed of charging at home. And the other option is this mobile charger for $275. I highly recommend the mobile connector charging cable. I know that it's only a $150 difference to get the wall connector. This, however, is going to be pretty versatile because you can use it to charge at home on a NEMA 1450 outlet, which is also called a dryer outlet or a 240 volt outlet. And you'll be able to take it with you when you travel, and it comes in handy. Let me tell you, there are plenty of times where I've traveled to remote locations such as cabins and lakes and things like that, where I've needed to take this with me, and I've been able to charge my car where there are no other superchargers around. So this is more versatile for less money. That's why I always recommend getting this mobile connector. And one of the best things about the mobile connector is that it allows you to charge on a normal outlet, just a regular outlet. If you have that in your garage or anywhere around the outside of your house, you just plug your car up to it and charge that way. Now, that is the slowest way to charge, but if you are on a strict budget and you drive less than 50 or 60 miles per day, then that honestly could be enough to keep your car charged without spending any more money on additional charging equipment. Now, for my Model 3, a normal outlet could provide about 60 miles of range overnight if charged for 12 hours. However, if you're like me and drive more than that each day, the mobile connector on a NEMA 1450 outlet is probably the best bang for buck solution for home charging. That can provide 30 miles of range per hour of charge for my long-range Model 3, which is plenty fast enough for nearly anybody's driving habits. There's also a third option, and that is to get a third-party wall charger at home. And I have a wall box, and that is compatible with all EVs. So it does come with the J1772 cable right here, and all Teslas should come with this little adapter. This is the J1772 adapter, which you'll use for non-Tesla charging cables, such as public EV chargers. That's where you'll see this. And make sure you keep this adapter in your trunk or in your frunk in your car at all times, because it will come in handy if you ever do need to charge at a public charger. And when you're actually ready to plug in, the Tesla logo will illuminate white when it's ready, and you just plug the cable in. Blue means it's making the connection. It's blinking blue, it's ready to charge, it's starting to charge, and then blinking green means it's charging. And when it's done charging, it will be solid green. And when you're ready to unplug the cable, all you have to do is press and hold on the button until the T turns white, and then remove the cable. The charge port door will automatically close. Now, if the T logo ever turns red, that means there's some type of fault, and you need to check the touchscreen or your mobile app to look at that exact error. And if the Tesla charging cable ever gets stuck in the charger, you can actually manually release it by opening the trunk and finding the release cable. You pull it down to unlatch the cable. Up to now, Tesla has offered 2 different battery options for their vehicles. For the standard range models, they've put LFP batteries in there, and those can be charged to 100% for daily driving, and you don't have to worry about the degradation. But for the long range and performance models, which all Model 3 and Model Y vehicles in the US right now, if you're buying a new Tesla in 2025, those are going to be nickel-based NCA batteries, which means you really don't want to charge past 80% for your daily driving. Only charge past 80% if you're about to embark on a long road trip. Charging past 80% every single day is going to degrade your battery. If you go into your Tesla touchscreen and go to the charging section, you should be able to see the charge limit section here. So the Tesla will automatically charge up and stop at whatever limit you set it at for this particular location. Tesla makes this very simple. When you look on nickel-based batteries, you go on the charging screen here and I go past 80% for my daily driving limit, it's going to say 80% recommended for daily driving. For LFP batteries, you can definitely go past 80% and not really see any effect long term, but for nickel-based batteries, it's very important that you don't go past that unless you absolutely need to. Even on long road trips, usually Tesla will actually navigate you to superchargers along the way to avoid having to supercharge past 80%. And I highly recommend setting a schedule for charging at home. You can do this within the charging section here, just enable that, or you can switch to the scheduled departure and schedule a time for you to leave. So I actually prefer the scheduled departure, because if you know you're going to leave every day by 7 a.m., you just set it to schedule the departure at 7 a.m. for this location, and it will not only charge overnight when it's lowest, the off-peak charging, you probably get the lowest electricity rate, but it'll also time it to where it'll finish charging right before you leave. Although it's okay to charge to 100% every now and then for road trips, you don't want to leave it at 100% or above 90% for a long period of time. Tesla has built the largest global charging infrastructure for fast charging for EVs, and one of the biggest reasons I bought my Tesla, along with I know many other Tesla buyers, really prioritize this Tesla supercharger network and think it's one of the best benefits. And it really is, because you can pretty much travel anywhere in the United States just on supercharging alone. They've put them near eating and shopping, so when you're at the supercharger, most likely you're just going to back right in, and then it's very simple. You just pull the plug out and plug it into your car. Your credit card is tied to your Tesla account, so it will automatically bill you, so you don't have to swipe your credit card or anything like that. And once you're plugged in, you can come back to your screen and tap on the battery icon up there to bring up the charging section. Here is your charging limit. If you need all the 100% of the battery, you can put that all the way up to the top there, and that will charge to 100%, and then 90%, 80%, 70%. It's got little notches, but you can see right here your charge limit as you set it. I set it to 79%, and it says I have 20 minutes remaining, and I'm charging at 300 miles an hour. 6 kilowatt hours has been added since I've started charging, and then that's the kilowatts that is currently charging at. And you can see how much the current session is costing right here. But one of the main things to remember about supercharging is the lower state of charge that your battery is when you arrive and start charging, the faster your battery is going to charge. So for example, if you arrive at a supercharger with less than 20% of battery remaining, it's going to charge really quickly from 10% to 60%. That's going to be really fast compared to if you were to arrive with 50% of battery remaining and you want to charge to 100%, because that last 20% on the NCA batteries is going to take a very long time. So really, ideally, when you're traveling with supercharger stations, charge up to 80% and then leave and then go on to your next supercharger. And if you tap on the supercharging tips, it's going to tell you want to find the fastest supercharger. Look for the 3 volts as much as you can when you're going to a supercharger. Sometimes you have no choice though. You're just going to have to charge whatever supercharger is on your route. And when you navigate to the supercharger, your battery will automatically precondition for faster charging, which is awesome. It's one of the best benefits of driving a Tesla. You want to arrive with 20% battery less, like we mentioned before. The lower the state of charge when you arrive, it's going to maximize your charging rate. Leave space in between cars. Move your car after charging, so idle fees will apply if you leave your car. So let's say I leave my car and I go to use the bathroom or go shopping or get something to eat. Once it hits that charge limit, I'll only have like 5 minutes or so to come and get the car and stop it from charging before idle fees start to kick in. So you don't want to leave your car sitting on the charger after it's reached that limit. Superchargers are really only meant for road trips. The majority of your charging will be done at home. So now we are sitting in the driver's seat and let's talk about driving the car. Let's go over some of the basics. If you have a car that does not have any stalks on the side here like I do, you're going to use the turn signals that are on the steering wheel right here. Up is right, bottom is left. And then also you're going to change the gears on the screen. So it'll say press the brake, and you can slide down for reverse, slide up to drive, and then tap in the middle to park. pretty simple. However, you can always get third-party stalks and install them super easy. Highly recommend these. These are the S3XY stalks by Enhance Auto. It takes like 15-20 minutes to install. It's awesome, and it gives you the ability to have regular turn signals again. Also, if you go into your settings under the dynamics, you can actually turn auto shift on. So basically the car will automatically, or try to automatically, determine if you are ready to go forward or backwards. So if I press the brake, it's automatically going into drive for me, and I just go. And another thing to remember when you are driving and switching gears, if you're going 5 miles an hour or under, you can actually switch gears without pressing the brake. So I'm going reverse 5 miles an hour, and I just go into drive without pressing the brake. So it's just a way to quickly change gears and you don't have to press the brake. And another important thing that you need to know is how to put the car in neutral. Open up the settings menu, and it's right there on the bottom right. It says neutral. You have to hold it down for a few seconds, and now you're in neutral. So you definitely don't want to go to a car wash without knowing how to put this car into neutral, and then other situations as well. Now, there is a backup method to changing gears if your screen ever has issues. So if the screen is broken or it crashes and you can't use your screen to change gears, what are you going to do? There's the backup method right up here by your hazard lights. If you tap on or press on the plastic piece next to it, it shows you your current gears. So that is very helpful to remember that these are your backup emergency ways of changing your gears up at the top. I'll show you the actual parking as well. So if you have full self-driving, you can pull up to a spot and it'll show up right here on the screen. It's got this P icon. Tap on that and hit start. And this begins the auto park, and this will work when parallel parking as well, not just lined parking spots, but pretty good parking job. Now let's go back into drive and let's talk about the driving experience. The first thing that you'll probably notice if you've never driven a Tesla before, the regen braking. And it's probably the biggest difference to get used to if you're coming from a gas car. What this means is if you let off the accelerator, the car is going to actually apply the brakes. But what it does is it saves on your brake pads first and foremost, but it also feeds a little bit of power and energy back into the battery. And so you'll find that it's very much a better experience to drive using one pedal. It's called one pedal driving because you rarely have to press the brake pedal. Only if you need to come to an abrupt stop. But I would say 95% of my driving is just done with me pressing the accelerator and letting off the accelerator to come to a stop. So that's one of the things I love about driving an EV is the one pedal driving. Another setting you might want to look at that's related to driving is in your light section. The auto turn signals will automatically turn off your turn signal when you switch lanes or pass or anything like that. Works pretty well too. So also when you're in the safety settings, you can go in here and turn on your automatic blind spot camera. Highly recommend turning that on, and that will automatically bring up your blind spot cameras on the screen here. And it's very helpful. So whenever you initiate the turn signal, it brings up that camera feed, and you can see if I turn my left turn signal on, brings up my left feed, my right turn signal brings up my right feed. You can actually move this around too. If you don't want it to cover the map, the navigation area, you can bring it down here. Another setting I also like to have checked, it's in my autopilot settings, green traffic light chime. What that will do is it'll give you a little chime audio alert whenever you're at a stoplight and the light turns green. If you're not paying attention, you'll hear a chime through the speakers letting you know that the light has turned green. That is very helpful. So now enabling autopilot or full self-driving is really simple. All you have to do is press down once on the right scroll wheel, and you'll hear that chime and you'll see the blue steering wheel icon enabled. And that means autopilot or full self-driving is controlling the car. You still have to supervise it. For full self-driving, it's called full self-driving supervised for a reason. So let's navigate somewhere from my navigation screen. Full self-driving is automatically going to do everything for me pretty much. I'm still supervising the car. That's why it's called FSD supervised. Same with autopilot. You have to be ready to take over at any time, but I rarely have to even touch anything. It's going to turn for me. It's going to enable turn signals for me. It's going to stop at stoplights. It's going to change lanes. It does pretty much everything, especially with the new hardware for cameras and computers that come with these newer Tesla vehicles. However, if you don't have full self-driving, you're going to have auto steer beta. What this does is basically will keep you within the lane and keep your speed. You also have to be looking at the road for the majority of the time. If you look away for a prolonged period of time here, and it's going to say, please pay attention to the road. It's beeping at me. Oh, and if you don't take over, or if you don't look at the road in enough time, it's going to blink, 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 and it's going to tell you to take over. It's going to completely disable. It's okay to glance down at the screen occasionally for a few seconds. If you need to do something on the screen, that's fine, but just keep that in mind. And the way it does that is it monitors your face with this interior camera here. So yes, there is a camera facing you at all times if you want to use full self-driving or autopilot. However, if you're wearing sunglasses, an alternative way for Tesla to make sure that you're paying attention to the road is keeping a hand on the wheel. You can take your hand off for a few seconds and it'll do the same thing. It's going to beep at you saying, hey, put your hand on the wheel or slightly move the wheel to make sure that you're still paying attention if it can't see what your eyes are looking at. When I'm in autopilot, I can scroll the scroll wheel and it's going to set the maximum speed, and I can actually decrease the set maximum speed by scrolling down. Scrolling the scroll wheel up or down adjusts the speed limit, the maximum set speed. So if I don't want it to go past 30 miles an hour, set it to max 30 miles an hour, and it's not going to go past that. So if you scroll up all the way, it's going to set the maximum set speed allowed based on the current speed limit. You can change what it decides to do in your autopilot settings. So the set speed, you can set it to your current speed automatically or the speed limit, and you can set it to offset by a certain percentage. So when I set my autopilot speed, it's going to set it a 12% set without going over the maximum limit. I can also press left and right on the scroll wheel, the right scroll wheel, to adjust the speed settings in full self-driving. So if I press all the way to the right, you can see it says hurry. If I press it to the left, it goes back to standard. If I press it left again, it's going to be chill. So those are 3 driving modes with full self-driving using the right scroll wheel. If this is autopilot, if you have just autopilot enabled, pressing the scroll wheel left or right is actually going to determine the distance between you and the car ahead of you. So if you press it all the way to the right, it's going to be the minimum distance. If you press it all the way to the left, it maximizes the distance. Now, when autopilot or full self-driving is enabled, there are a few different ways to disable it. First, you can press in on the right scroll wheel, just like you turn it on, you can press it in to disable it. You can also press the brake. If you press the brake at any time during your driving when autopilot or full self-driving, it automatically disables full self-driving and autopilot, and you'll have to take over and drive manually. The final option is to jerk the steering wheel in either direction, and what that'll do is it will disengage full self-driving and autopilot. Just know that the 2 best ways to disable autopilot is to either press in on the right scroll wheel or press your brake. Now, if you're the type of person who does not want to use autopilot at all, you can actually create another driving profile and set it to only traffic aware cruise control in your autopilot settings. And what that does is will allow you to only use cruise control, and it completely disables the ability to turn on autopilot or full self-driving. And what traffic aware cruise control is, it basically just sets your speed, it keeps your speed, but it doesn't keep you in the lane. So you're driving, you're keeping yourself in the lane, but all you're doing is setting the cruise control to a certain speed, and it will maintain that speed, and it will slow down when if it needs to, if there's cars ahead of it, and it just kind of keeps that distance. All right, the mobile app is one of my favorite features about owning a Tesla because there are a lot of features in here that you would most likely pay for with other vehicles, but Tesla gives you them for free because all Teslas come with LTE connectivity for free, so your car is constantly connected to the internet, and you can kind of control a lot of aspects of your car from wherever you are. If you want to participate in Tesla's referral program, you should have your own link, so you can share your Tesla referral link to friends and family, and they can save some money, and you can get some prizes and some rewards as well. You can quickly switch between Tesla vehicles if you own more than one, and here it shows you the status, it's parked, and here you can tap on the battery percentage to switch between estimated mileage or estimated battery percentage. This button right here shows you the messages between you and Tesla. This right here is your menu option, so it shows you your Tesla profile. You go in here and you can update some of the things about your Tesla profile. You can adjust your notifications. You can see your Tesla wallet, your order history, your driver profile settings that you can actually have it set to where it'll automatically change your driver profile across any Tesla vehicle if you have that set up. And then here's your calendar sync. You can turn that on as well to sync your calendar to your vehicle. My products is basically just the same list as before. The drop-down menu, it shows you all your Tesla vehicles. You can go into your charging, and it shows you your supercharging miles if you have any remaining, and it shows you your last charge along with the details of your last charge, which is really nice. And you can go into your history and show all of your previous history of supercharging, and you can go into each one and look at more details if you'd like. You can manage your payment. So your Tesla account should be tied to your own credit card, and that's how you pay for supercharging. It's automatically billed to your credit card on file. You can change that there. You can go into your vehicle details and your membership if you have owned another non-Tesla EV. And here is your referral program. You can go in here and you can see that you can use Tesla credits for all of these different things right now. So it's really cool if you earn some Tesla credits, you can use them for service, which is nice. The Discover section just takes you to the Tesla store basically, and you can look at Tesla insurance, you can browse Tesla accessories. Now back to the Tesla app home screen. Here you have 4 docked shortcuts, and you can press and hold on those. So these are your full list of controls that you have for the vehicle, and you can dock your 4 favorite ones or the 4 most used ones, and you can just drag and drop and replace these as you need. So here you can quickly unlock and lock the car. You can preheat the car or cool it off from wherever you are by quickly just tapping on that. I can enable and disable Sentry mode from this icon right here. And when you do have Sentry mode enabled, you can view the live camera from here. So you tap on that, and as long as you've given that setting or turn that setting on in your car settings, you can view the cameras from wherever you are, which is really nice. And here I've added my frunk release, so I can open my frunk from the app as well. This is the controls where you can go in here and just view all the different controls for the car. And the other options that you have, you can open the charge port door, you can honk, you can start a light show, defrost the car. Remote start is actually pretty cool. That's if you are away from your car and you need somebody else to drive it. So let's say you need a neighbor to move your car into your garage. If you're away from home and a storm's coming, you can actually press on that, and it gives the person 2 minutes to drive the car without any key. Open the trunk, and this is an unlatched door option, which it actually pops your door out in case the door is ever iced over. The vent option will crack the windows just a little bit if you want to vent the car if it's sitting out in the heat. So it's a very hefty list of features that you can do from the app. The controls, it gives you some more controls. You can go in here and basically the same thing as before, except it has its own little dedicated section. You can open the front, open the charge port door, the trunk, remote start, vent, and you can also check the PSI of your tires. Go back into the climate. Here you can turn the climate control off and on of your car, set it to the desired temperature. It shows you the current temperature inside the vehicle. You can defrost the car from here. Turn on camp mode. If you're camping, it keeps the climate control on for a certain amount of time until it reaches 20% battery. Then dog mode, if you want to leave your dog in the car, you turn that on and it keeps the car cool. And here is your current location of the car. It shows you where your car is currently located. You can actually get directions to your car from these buttons up here, and you can tap on the supercharger icon to show you the nearest superchargers. If you have full self-driving, you can go into the summon option and move your car out of a parking spot. If you're in a tight space, you can move it back and forth. So that's a really fun party trick, but hardly ever use that in the real world scenarios. If you go to schedule, you can set your charging schedule for your car at the current location by using the drop-down list. Here you can choose your home or your work address, and you can set up different settings for each location, which is really nice. So you can take advantage of off-peak electricity charging, so you can get the most affordable charging rates, or you can set it to where the car will automatically set the cabin temperature and warm it up if it's in the winter, and cool it down if it's in the summer, however you'd like. Here's the security and drivers. You can go in here, and here you can actually view your dash cam clips. So just like in the vehicle itself, you can go in here and view all of these saved clips directly from your phone. That is a new feature, really nice to have. Sentry mode, valet mode, if you want to give the car to a valet and lock down some of the vehicle access, it limits the vehicle access there. Parental controls, similar to valet mode, speed limit mode, turn on pin to drive. So these are all just security features of the car that you can adjust. So going back, let's go to the upgrades. Pretty self-explanatory. You can purchase software upgrades such as full self-driving or acceleration boost or premium connectivity, along with accessories, service plans, and installable upgrades. And you can go to the very bottom and manage your upgrades and see what active subscriptions you have for your vehicles. And down here at the bottom, you have the service, and this is where you'll schedule service. There's no other way to schedule service for your Tesla except within the app. Go in here, request service. When you do that, you can select the category. The app is very important because that's how Tesla will communicate with you 99% of the time. So when you go in here and ask a question, you can see your history of the service. You got video guides, which is nice, the owner's manual, and how service works. Roadside assistance, if you ever are in need of roadside assistance, you can go in here and do this. Now, I recommend having just roadside assistance through your insurance. That's probably be a better way to do that. But if you ever do find yourself in an emergency situation, you can go in here and get roadside assistance directly from the Tesla app, and Tesla will coordinate with third-party towing services most likely for that. Here you can see your details of the car, your VIN number, your odometer, the software version, and here you can look at your specs that you have with your car and all of your warranty information, how much you have left. So that wraps up the Ultimate Tesla Owner's Guide for 2025 for the Model 3 and Model Y. If I didn't cover something that you want to know more about, let me know in the comment section below. And good luck with your Tesla ownership. I hope it brings you as much satisfaction as it has me and my family. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to see more Tesla and tech videos in the future. My name is Andy. I'll talk to you in the next one.